Cam got hit.
What is up, folks? CJ here, rolling solo today, reviewing the latest movie from Blumhouse Productions, directed by Leigh Whannell, and it is called Upgrade. Now, before I start on this and such, just want to thank everybody that listens to the show. I did an interview with the director, Leigh Whannell, a few weeks ago that is uploaded and posted. If you haven't already, definitely go check it out. Link is in the description, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have it up on this video in some way, shape, or form, but whatever and stuff. Anyway, so Upgrade. Upgrade movie is about Gray, who's played by Logan Marshall Green. A lot of people, look at Logan Marshall Green. He's kind of like the bizarro Tom Hardy and stuff. Not bizarro Tom Hardy, but he kind of looks like Tom Hardy a little bit. If you've seen him before, he's been in, I think he was in Prometheus. He's been in a lot of other movies as well. He plays Gray, very old school guy and such. Works on cars and stuff, and it's the future. And what I like about what you'll enjoy about this movie is, Blumhouse Productions, they're known for very low budget affair type movies and such. You look at Get Out, and you look at any of those movies and stuff, they're not necessarily high budget, but as Leigh Whannell had said during our interview, they get the creatives get their freedom to tell the stories they want to tell, and it works out. So in this movie, it's the future, but what I think is very much enjoyable about it is it's not overtly futuristic like on some Blade Runner stuff. It feels like a very actual real world future. So what you get is Gray plays a mechanic and stuff. He fixes cars for peoples and stuff like that. 20th century cars and things like that. His wife, Asha, who's played by Melanie Vallejo. If you're a Power Rangers fan, she was the Blue Ranger in Power Rangers Mystic Force, if you've seen her before. She's been in a lot of other movies, but if you really are into Power Rangers, she was the Blue Ranger in Power Rangers Mystic Force. Plays his wife. She works for this corporation and stuff. They do cybernetic replacement and such. Very good marriage. You can tell that what I like about them is that Gray and Asha have a very good connection. You believe them as a very husband and wife. But at any point, over the course of the movie, we see them and they kind of have their whole thing, marriage and such. So they decide to go to this guy, Aaron, who is a mad scientist, kind of like a, very reclusive scientist. I'm not going to say mad scientist, very reclusive scientist. And, Asha knows him and things like that. Long story short, they leave. They end up getting mixed up with some gang members who kill his wife, and they paralyze Gray. And through, if you seen the trailer, basically Aaron ends up helping out Gray and fits him with this chip called STEM, which basically makes him able to walk and stuff. And over the course of this movie, STEM talks to Gray and tells him that, hey, he can help him search for his wife. And that's essentially the crux of what Upgrade is. Now, if you've seen the trailers for the movie, let me rewind back. So movies like this, you can tell more often than not that they tend to telegraph themselves in terms of you already know who the bad guy is. You could probably tell what the twist is and stuff. And it's 50-50 on stuff. On one hand, I don't mind that kind of stuff because it doesn't bother me. I'm more about the journey of how we get there and what was the end game to it all and stuff. And, other times some people don't like it because, they want that twist. And I would say with this movie is that I feel that the movie has a twist, and part of it you will see coming, and there's another part of it that's like, okay, I didn't expect that. Now again, when I say don't expect that, some people catch on to it, others would be like, oh my God, that's shocking and stuff. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's all dependent on what it is. And what I enjoy about this movie is that it's telling a pretty good story where when Gray gets fitted with STEM, you know, they have this very good interaction with one another and stuff. And they're basically over the course of the movie trying to figure out who killed his wife and things, and their interaction is there because Gray, on the other hand, you know, he's a guy who got paralyzed, and the shock and awe of him being paralyzed is just, you know, Logan Marshall Green, I give him credit. Like, he plays this guy who's paralyzed, but he doesn't play it in the typical woe is me kind of level thing and stuff. You know, he loses his wife and he does feel bad about it and stuff, but it isn't on some like sympathetic thing. He feels sad for his wife, and he, over the course of the movie, he has dreams of his wife being alive and their whole thing and stuff, and that plays a part into the story structure of the movie and stuff, and also in relation to STEM as well. Betty Gabriel is the cop who, when Gray and STEM are kind of searching for his wife, she is kind of doing investigations and stuff, and all this over the course of the movie is tied into one another and stuff. And then you got Benedict Hardy, who, you know, he plays the bad guy that killed his wife and stuff. And, you know, Gray is trying to search for him. And I like it, you know, because, again, this future kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, a very real world type of future and stuff. Because, you know, you have this, you know, for a low budget movie, they basically still gave you that scope of what this future can be. So you have your self-driving cars, which in this real world now, we do have self-driving cars and stuff. And, you know, it has a very sci-fi, cyberpunk-ish in terms of, like, the aesthetic, in terms of look and stuff. It's very dirty look and stuff, but it still has that modern sensibilities and stuff because you have self-driving cars. The police are using drones to track down people and things like that. So, you know, you get your little mix of a lot of future stuff. It's not, like I said, for the money that they're using, very overtly future, but it's not, like, big-budget future. Which, like I said, it works. For the story that they're trying to tell, you don't have to really go big budget with it and stuff. So you got Betty Gabriel, Benedict Hardy, and then Logan Marshall Green. Their characters are all intertwining with one another and stuff. And then you got STEM, who was voiced by Simon Maiden. And I gotta say, like I said, STEM and Gray's interaction with one another and stuff is particularly good because, you know, Gray, in terms of him walking and stuff, you know, he can't necessarily, since he has a computer basically doing the kind of being in the driver's seat, so to speak, for him and walking and stuff like that, Gray has this kind of robotic-esque walk to him and stuff, you know. And like I said, you know, if you listen to the interview that I did with Leigh Whannell, he kind of goes into how that came to be. But it's actually pretty good. It's very good. And, you know, that whole thing of him searching for his wife and STEM helping him out and stuff, it ends up becoming a pretty standard fare story. You know, you see the killing happening and stuff. You see him, you know, doing all these things. STEM is helping him out, but then, you know, Gray has to keep this from his mom and keep it from the cop, because the cop, you know, Cortez, that's Betty Gabriel's character, you know, she doesn't know he's walking and stuff. And, you know, you got Aaron, you know, played by Harrison Gilbertson, who, if, you know, Harrison Gilbertson, I don't know the guy, but he kind of looks like I thought it was Dane DeHaan, honestly, and stuff, especially when you give it a look. But he does a pretty good job of playing a very standoffish scientist and stuff, but STEM is his baby, so he's kind of keeping tabs on Gray as well. And over the course of the movie, you see, you know, between Gray having these bouts of remembering his wife and stuff, and then STEM helping out Gray, and you get that twist coming towards the end of the movie and stuff, which, again, if you've seen the trailer, you can probably tell what the twist could possibly be. But what I did feel about it is that ultimately it's a great movie. I don't want to spoil it, because I do really feel that you guys should definitely check it out and watch it and such. It's definitely worth it. But like I said, everything about the movie overall just works. Like I said, I think Logan Marshall Green did a fantastic job as Gray. Betty Gabriel did a pretty good job as cop Cortez and stuff. And to be honest with you, I think Betty Gabriel has always been very solid. This is like the second Blumhouse type movie she was in. She was in Get Out, and I thought she did a pretty damn good, phenomenal job in that. um, things like that. You got, like I said, Benedict Hardy. He does a pretty good job playing a bad guy in such a way. Simon Maiden, again, I like him as Stem, just the voice and things like that. It works, it's not. It works for what this is. The movie overall, I mean, some people are going to think it's a bad movie, but I think it's a very good movie. Like I said, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very fine movie. You'll definitely enjoy it. But like, the crux of the plot, like I said, is very simple and to the point. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel, but like I said, what I will give credit for Leigh Whannell is that he definitely crafted a very good, fine movie. It does its job. It had, like I said, it gets it's kind of a very enjoyable B movie, and it kind of, to be honest with you, it reminds me a little bit of Robocop in a way, kind of like Robocop light, because it has some gore to it and stuff. It also kind of lays the ground of what Robocop was doing in terms of the robots and all that stuff. But if I had to let me break this down here. So the whole thing with Stem and Gray, I mentioned earlier about how like Gray has a very machine-like walk to it and stuff. But what I like about it is that like specifically with the interaction, Stem kind of has that whole devil and angel feel for Gray and stuff. Because while Gray searching for his wife, he wants to do everything by the book without really harming anybody. He's always in situations where he needs Stem there to kind of like be the devil on his shoulder and kind of like, hey, you can do this and this could actually get there to the point, And what I think that Whannell has done a very good job of is he knows how to get you hooked to a bit, And what you get is a movie that's like a mix of like Robocop in 2001. And you get a very high ambitious movie that gives you those kind of thrills and such. And like I said, it is, like I said, it's a very R-rated movie. You get your gore, and it does have some shock gore to it and stuff. But the way it's done is done in a way that it's not just, wallowing in its grotesqueness. It hits it, boom, and keeps it moving and stuff. It had also the aspect of the Batman Beyond aspect, another thing too, because if you remember in Batman Beyond, that was a future where while it, like I said, it had a very high concept flying cars and such, there were certain things, and this is what I like about this movie, and I would like to see more of this in other movies and stuff, or if they happen to do a sequel to this, which I think would be awesome. The idea of you have these hybrid half man, half machine people and stuff, they have upgrades and such. So while Gray does have that upgrade with Stem, there are other people who also have upgrades. You got people that got guns in their arms, and it looks, like I said, it has a very techno, kind of like dirty feel to it and stuff when you see it, because it's not necessarily something that's clean, like, oh, his arm opens out. You know what? It's not like Killmonger in Black Panther, where his arm turned into a cannon and stuff. It's very dirty looking. It's like when they have it, they lock it in, and it looks dope. It looks very realistic, and such. And like I said, over the course of this movie and stuff, you got Gray discovering all these illegal operations and stuff. People got them things in their arm, got guns in their arms, their eyes got cybernetic enhancements to it and stuff. At one point, he runs into a group of people that are living out their fantasies in VR, and they're so stuck into VR that they essentially feel that they're in the real world. And like I said, again, that all ties into like Gray's kind of like him remembering his wife and dreaming of her and stuff. And you start wondering, is this kind of affecting him and all that stuff? But like I said, all that ties into how ties into the movie and stuff. So basically, like I said, while there are certain parts of the movie that it does get muddled, that muddledness isn't necessarily a big deal. It's there, but it doesn't linger on and stuff. And I think because of the way the story is and stuff, you have this thing where the movie overall, it knows what it is. It tells a very simple revenge-driven story. It has that twist to it and stuff you know. And I feel overall the twist works and everything and stuff. Now, like I said, if you've seen the trailers and stuff, there are certain points that you'll probably be like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I know this is going to happen. But there's still an element of that twist that you won't see coming to an extent. Like I said, unless you really watch it, and you'll probably catch that too as well. But, you know, it is what it is and such. But like I said, you know, the movie, I felt it did a pretty good job of what it was trying to do. You know, at the end of the day, it's definitely worth a watch and such. You'll definitely enjoy it. Like I said, 7 out of 10. Definitely go see it. Check our interview with Leigh Whannell. Definitely fun interviewing him and stuff, and you'll get a bit more insight into how he went about this movie and such. So with that being said, folks, I just want, like I said, 7 out of 10. Go see Upgrade. Definitely will not regret it whatsoever. So yeah, until then, I will check you guys later. Peace out.
Chin, chin, chin,